The serenity of a peaceful day at the national park was shattered by the roar of motorcycles and the sharp laughter of a group of rowdy bikers. Visitors watched uneasily as the gang tore through the area, their reckless antics disturbing the calm. They seemed unstoppable, intimidating anyone who dared cross their path until they chose the wrong target. Unbeknownst to the bikers, one of the park's quiet visitors wasn't just another bystander. A lone veteran, enjoying the tranquility of the great outdoors, caught their attention. What happened next would leave everyone stunned. This isn't just a story about conflict. It's a story about standing up to intimidation and the unexpected strength of those you might underestimate. As the tension escalates, one thing becomes clear. This veteran has more than a few surprises up his sleeve. What will unfold when resilience meets recklessness? Stay tuned to find out. The veteran, a man with a weathered face and a quiet demeanor, had come to the park seeking solace. Years of service had taught him to appreciate moments of peace, but they had also left him with a deep sense of vigilance. He noticed the bikers before they noticed him, their loud voices and reckless energy impossible to miss. The group, confident in their numbers and emboldened by the lack of pushback from others, zeroed in on the veteran as he calmly stood near his parked truck. Maybe it was his unshaken calm that drew their attention, or maybe it was the quiet strength in his posture that they mistook for weakness. As the bikers approached, onlookers held their breath. Who was this man, and why didn't he flinch under their intimidating glares? The air grew thick with anticipation, leaving everyone wondering just how far this encounter would go. The leader of the bikers, a burly man with a leather vest and a cocky grin, stepped forward, his companions forming a loose circle around the veteran. Their laughter echoed through the park, but the veteran didn't move a muscle. He stood with his arms crossed, his calm gaze fixed on the leader. It was clear he wasn't afraid, and that seemed to frustrate them. "That's something to say, old man," the leader sneered, leaning in closer. The veteran's response was quiet but firm. "No need for trouble. Let's all enjoy the park and go our separate ways." But the bikers weren't interested in peace. They thrived on the reaction their antics usually provoked, and the veteran's composure only fueled their need to assert dominance. Onlookers whispered nervously, unsure of what would happen next. What they didn't know was that the veteran wasn't just calm, he was prepared. The leader chuckled, mistaking the veteran's calm for fear. "Separate ways? Oh no, we're just getting started," he said, stepping closer. The others jeered, circling tighter, their voices louder, trying to unsettle the veteran. Yet he stood as steady as the towering trees around them, his gaze unflinching. A crowd had begun to gather at a distance, their concern evident. Some whispered about calling for help, but others couldn't tear their eyes away, sensing something extraordinary was about to unfold. The veteran adjusted his stance slightly, his body language shifting, not in retreat, but in readiness. Then, with one swift movement, the leader reached out to shove the veteran. It was a mistake. Before anyone could process what happened, the veteran moved with a precision and control that hinted at years of training. Gasps rippled through the crowd as the bikers suddenly realized this wasn't going to go as planned. The leader stumbled back, his smug grin replaced by a look of shock. The veteran hadn't even raised his voice, yet his movements were deliberate and commanding, as if he had done this 1,000 times before. The crowd buzzed with murmurs, the air thick with curiosity and tension. The bikers hesitated for the first time, their confidence wavering. But then, from the corner of his eye, the veteran noticed something. A young park ranger cautiously approaching, radio in hand. She seemed unsure whether to step in or hang back, her concern growing with every passing second. The veteran gave her a slight nod, a subtle signal that he had the situation under control. What no one realized was that the bikers weren't as uncoordinated as they seemed. As the leader regrouped, a second biker signaled toward the veteran's truck. Unseen by most, two of them began moving toward it, clearly aiming to escalate things in a way no one expected. The bikers thought they had the upper hand as they crept toward the veteran's truck, smirking at each other like predators closing in on their prey. But as one of them reached for the door handle, a sharp whistle cut through the air. Everyone turned to see the veteran standing firm, his voice calm but commanding. "You might want to rethink that," he said, motioning subtly with his hand. At first, the bikers didn't understand. Then they heard it, the unmistakable bark of a dog. From behind the truck emerged a massive, highly trained canine, its eyes locked on the intruders. The bikers froze, clearly unprepared for this new threat. The leader, now visibly shaken, tried to regain control. "All right, old man, you've made your point." But the veteran's calm demeanor didn't waver. "You disturbed the peace. Now you leave, or you deal with the consequences." Defeated and humiliated, the bikers backed off, muttering curses under their breath. As they roared away on their motorcycles, the park ranger stepped forward, thanking the veteran for diffusing the situation without violence. But as the dust settled, the veteran turned to the crowd, a slight smile on his face. "Sometimes knowing when to act is the greatest strength," he said before quietly walking away, his dog by his side. It was only later that the onlookers realized the veteran had left behind more than a memory. He'd inspired them all to stand tall in the face of adversity. As the veteran disappeared into the trees with his dog, the park returned to its usual calm. The crowd slowly dispersed, many still talking about what they had witnessed. For some, it was a reminder that strength isn't always about size or numbers. It's about composure, skill, and knowing when to act. The young park ranger lingered for a moment, her respect for the veteran clear. She couldn't shake the thought that there was more to his story, but perhaps that mystery was part of what made the moment so powerful. The bikers never returned to the park, and the visitors who had been there that day carried the story with them, retelling it to others as a lesson in courage and quiet strength. The veteran's actions left a lasting mark, a reminder that sometimes the most unassuming people carry the greatest resolve.